And it is Jesus Luzardo, who's had a roller coaster first season with the Phillies, but lately a 2.64 over his last 8 starts. This guy's been really good.
He is, and he's one of those pitchers that can get on a roll if he's connected with his mechanics. He's athletic, he gets after it, he throws strikes. There's the breakdown of what he has. And I think look for some off-speed success tonight. If he's going to be good, it's off-speed that really gets a lot of hitters out.
Starting pitching's been dominant in these 3 games for the Phillies. 1 run over 18 innings as they won 1-0 on Monday, and then 2 blowout wins the next 2 nights. Lindor climbs in, and off we go with a fastball for a strike. And this is a snapshot of what this Mets team has been. Lindor 0 for his last 15 after a 15 plate appearance stretch where he reached 13 times. The whole team has been like that.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense in baseball how teams kind of follow each other. When they get hot, some other guys get hot, and then when they get cold, it seems like they all get cold, and that's got to change for the Mets. They've got to find a way to win this game tonight.
Just 11 runs scored over the 5-game losing streak. That was after a 2-week stretch where they were averaging like 8 runs per game. They swept that series against the Phillies at Citi Field, and it was like, okay, maybe this division is a question again. Lindor will end that 0 for 15 with a base hit the other way. The pitcher profile sponsored by Wendy's. We were talking about how good the pitching has been for the Phillies in this series and really all year. Nola's been the exception, but maybe his best start of the season, 6 scoreless in the first game.
You know, that was a big shot in the arm for the Phillies. They've lost Wheeler for the year, which really hurts this ball club. They depend on their starting pitching, getting them 6 to 7 innings, which keeps their bullpen fresh.
Leadoff man aboard, Juan Soto to the plate. He hit his 39th home run yesterday. Reached base for a 19th consecutive game, and after a slow start, it has been a successful first year with the Mets.
Yeah, left-handed, hitting off a left-handed pitcher is a little average is a little bit down. Obviously, right-handed average is much higher, but his ability to recognize strikes, hit with 2 strikes, it's unlike anything I've seen from a young player who broke in the league.
Bouncing ball right side and through, and a couple singles to open this game for New York. So Soto wastes no time extending his on-base streak to 20 games, and the table's set here for Pete Alonso.
Well, ground ball base hit, you're not going to see too many of them out of the Mets, but these are the kind of situations they need to get off to a fast start. They haven't gotten a lot of depth in their starting rotation, which relies on a lot of pitchers to get the job done. But here is where they have to capitalize. When you know you're running out of games and you haven't won a game in this ballpark against the Phillies, you got to jump on them first.
One of the best run producers in baseball this year, Pete Alonso, with runners at first and second, nobody out. Probably been his most well-rounded season in the major leagues. One that for the longest time looked like was going to come in a different uniform. I mean, this time last year, you're thinking you're watching the final days of Alonso with the Mets, but he has that magical run in the postseason. And he comes back on a 2-year deal. The Mets are sure glad that they have him. Leads the league in doubles. RBI total second just to Kyle Schwarber. And he has set the franchise record this year, passing Darryl Strawberry for the most home runs in Mets history.
He's also feasted off of division opponents. He's doing his best work in the division offensively, average-wise. Always a good thing.
Had a hard time with Luzardo throughout his career, though. Runners take off. Throw from Real Muto to third. Off the glove of Otto Kemp. Boy, if he catches that, I think they get Lindor. Instead, everybody's safe.
Well, Mets getting aggressive here with a double steal. All Soto's got to do is watch Lindor. Pitch was close, but it was inside, which allowed Real Muto, one of the best catchers in the game, to get off a clean throw.
Yeah, now a slap foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Alonso.
The hardest thing, oh man, that short hop just took him away from Lindor.
Whole new left side of the infield this week for the Phillies with the injuries to Alec Bowman, third, Trey Turner at short. 2-2 on Alonso. Those stolen bases, by the way, one of them not surprising, 29 for Francisco Lindor, but how about 32 for Juan Soto, whose previous career high was a dozen. Two on, nobody out. First inning, 2-2 pitch on the hands, foul.
Alonso, they tried to tie him up, but getting him out in is going to be difficult. He likes fastballs in. He wants to command that side of the plate. Everyone likes it over the middle.
Alonso, who's knocked in more runs than any player in the National League since his debut back in 2019. Trying to get the Mets rolling early here. Another 2-2 from Luzardo. Is taken for strike 3. And during this rough stretch for the Mets, there's been a lot of that. They've taken more strikes than any lineup in baseball this month.
It's a backdoor slider and catches the outside part of the plate. Breaking ball, off speed, a lot of outs, strikeouts with that off speed out of Luzardo. Phillies are trusting their offense. They're keeping the infield back. So again, a ground ball to short is a 1-0 lead for the Mets.
Here it is, Mark Vientos. And a backdoor breaking pitch for strike 1. The pitch from Luzardo that he gets strike 1 on Vientos with, that he finished off Pete Alonso with, is a new pitch this year, and he throws it more than anybody. He didn't really have anything that broke to his glove side, and he had some stretches where he was very successful in Oakland and when he was with Miami, but added that sweeper this season with some help from Caleb Cotham in his first year in Philadelphia, and the league's hit just 175 against it. It's been one of the best swing and miss breaking pitches in the league.
And that changeup is the equalizer for the ball that's coming into the right-hander. He's got a really good changeup that he keeps away to the right-handed batters.
Strikes out Alonso. He's got Vientos hit 1 and 2. Vientos smacks a base hit the other way. Lindor's in to score. Here comes Soto. He's stopped as Castellanos guns the ball home. The Mets are on the board first with an RBI single from Mark Vientos. Feels like a huge run for New York right there.
You have no idea what that dugout was. You know, when things are going bad, you can just see a perfect situation going bad when Alonso strikes out and 2 quick strikes to Vientos. Well, great piece of hitting on a fastball that he let get deep, protecting against those off-speed pitches. So a potentially really nice inning for a team that needs offense to get going.
First and third, 1 away. The hitter's Nimmo. He takes downstairs for a ball. Now Mark Vientos, who gives the Mets the lead here, he made his name last October against these Phillies. He had .563 in the division series over Philadelphia. Part of a breakout season. And now it's Nimmo banging a base hit into right field. 4 singles in this first inning for the Mets, and it's 2-0 as Soto scores.
Nimmo loves the ball inside. Lefty seems to be one of those things that when you are a left-handed hitter, the mistake a left-handed pitcher cannot make is into a left-handed batter. Watch where the pitch was supposed to be, and then watch where it was. In, so he can pull it. He gets on top of it. And I talk about the Mets needing this kind of inning to get going. You couldn't ask for a better start from a team that looked about as lethargic offensively as they could look.
And had only scored 1 run against Philadelphia starters over the first 3 games of this series. They get 2 of them here in the first and still going. And Phillies fans are pulling their hair out saying, why can't we just trust Luzardo? Why can't we get him to go through a long stretch where he doesn't have outings like this? Because as dominant as he can be, he's also had 4 starts this year where he's given up 6 or more, and it just had complete blowups.
Yeah, the command issue a little bit without knowing for sure if he tipped pitches during that stretch, because it was an unbelievable stretch that he'll never go through again. But the Philadelphia pitchers have relied on throwing in enough innings to get into position. They got a lot of wins in their staff out of the starters.
They've shut this Mets lineup down prior to today as Starling Marte takes a changeup downstairs. And the Mets offense, talking about how streaky it is, as bad as it's been for the last few days, Mets fans wouldn't be one bit surprised to see him flip a switch and go crazy here over the last few weeks. So when they're right, as productive as anybody. Marte, one of the veterans, 14 seasons in the major leagues. And you always know you're going to look up at the end of the year and he's going to be somewhere respectable at the as a floor when it comes to the batting average. Hit collector right here in Marte.
Well, he's really good on breaking balls against left-handers. That's why the first two were changeups. And that changeup is such a good pitch if he can get the fastball off the outside part of the plate and then follow it up with the changeup, because it's going to stay away.
There's a drive to left field. Marsh is going back. It's over his head and it's off the wall. Vientos in to score. Nimmo's given the wave. It's a ringing double from Starling Marte and a 4-run first inning for New York. 5 of the first 6 against Luzardo have gotten hits.
Well, this is the fastball that he tries to get in, and guess where it was? Right down the middle. So in this first inning, location has been absolutely off, and that's the reason why he's staring at a 4-run deficit. As good as his stuff is, you just can't live in the middle of the plate, because they know you're going to be around the plate, but you can't get the ball off the barrel of the bat if it's right down the middle.
Jeff McNeil now with a comebacker and a double play that's going to get him out of this inning. It is more loud contact from the Mets. More loud contact in this first inning than they've had in the last week. Certainly than they've had in this series. Just with the doctor ordered a fast start for New York.